There have been marriages, there have been engagements, there have been marvelous things. And of course, for many of us, there have been sad things. There have been parents who have died. There have been illnesses, and there have been losses of friends. We've done this all together, and we've been through a lot. You had your mid-year residency in Brussels, in that lovely hotel, in that lovely area. You studied hard. You studied hard in Brussels. You were in class 9 to 5. I can vouch for that. I know your families heard about other things, and you probably thought they weren't studying, but they were in that classroom 9 to 5, I can tell you. But in the midst of all those classes, 50 hours of classes, they heard 5 speakers at the hotel over lunches and dinner, and in fact, some GMAP graduates, including the ambassador from Croatia to Brussels. We visit SHAPE headquarters, where, by the way, a Fletcher graduate is the Supreme Allied Commander, our second Supreme Allied Commander. We went to receptions at the Embassy of Indonesia, and we just know who might have helped us do that, since we have 2 Indonesian ambassadors in this class, one to ASEAN and one to Beijing. We also went to the residence of the Chinese ambassador, who was a Fletcher graduate, and had a lovely dinner. You did a team project, and you ran around town on a scavenger hunt. Sounds childish, but that's what helps build teams. But you also got to museums, restaurants we know, and we hear you even had some beer and some chocolate. I often ask, how do they do it? How does this class do it? Well, they do it through hard work and intelligence. We all saw that. But they do it really through all of you. All of you who helped them and supported them and didn't make them go to certain special family events or had to give up children's games and projects at school, and parents took over and friends took over and spouses took over, and we're very, very happy to give them back to you. But right now, we'd just like to thank you. So if you'd all stand up and turn around and go to eye with the people who helped you and give them a cheer, I think it would be really nice. And then if you'll stay up, because your family away from home, I think you should give this faculty a cheer. I think it's extraordinary that this number of your faculty are here with us today. This is a Saturday morning. This is a faculty that travels around the world for you, and still on Saturday morning, their families and friends are doing for them and for you what your family and friends have done. So we're very grateful to all your family and friends whom you're not with too. So thank you. This class is a part of us. We will miss them dearly, but they will remain a part of us. They will continue to stay in touch with each other, with other GMAPers in the various classes, and with the wider Fletcher community. They are now part of something we call the Fletcher Mafia. And we're going to continue to learn from all each other. So you've been on a remarkable, remarkable journey. We've been privileged and honored to be on that journey with you, and we hope you'll journey forward with us many, many more years in trying to make this world more sensible, more fair, and more just. So we have a few speakers for you. I promise now not to say much more. And our very first speaker has been chosen by the class to speak for them. His name is David Spiro. He is the company director in Nepal of the Helen Keller Institute. David received his Bachelor of Arts degree in International Studies with a focus in Economic Development from Colby College. In his current position, David has reopened the Helen Keller International Office in Nepal, and he provides leadership, management, and development for the organization's programs in the area of nutrition, education, and eye care. He has just signed an agreement with our School of Nutrition to continue a relationship between Tufts University, our School of Nutrition, and the Helen Keller Center. So David, please come up.
Good morning, everybody. Dean Nutter, thank you for that very gracious introduction. Good morning, friends, colleagues, families. On behalf of the GMAP class of March 2011, we are so grateful that you could be here with us today. Professors, Professor Wilson, Professor Simonin, Professor Shigas, Taliaferro, Professor Seleni, Professor Kowalczyk, thank you so much for being with us through this year. Professor Kowalczyk, as Dean Nutter said, it is fitting that you are our speaker today after 10 years. I think it's more fitting because the 32 students here are the survivors of the dreaded triple. And because of that, we are glad that you are our speaker. Professor Kowalczyk, because of scheduling issues, we had, I believe, 9 full hours of international trade with a 15-minute break. I also want to take pleasure in welcoming Juman Wang, who in a few minutes is going to be our fellow GMAP alumni. I look forward to hearing your speech. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you for coming. Wow. So this part's for you guys. We're here. You know, a year ago, I never would have thought it. I want to thank you for choosing me to be your speaker. I'm so proud to be representing this class. Almost a year ago, we came onto this campus pretty much unsure of everything except for that nervous belly feeling that we had. On that first day, we were given a card, which I think I have probably dropped on the way up here. And it was a card from Dean Nutter that up until about a second ago I had on me at all times. Of course, I would drop it right now. This is the card we were talking about last night that was given to us by Dean Nutter on the first day. It was written out by Emma Heffern, I believe all 32 of them, in perfect calligraphy. And it says, never, never, never give up. And I kept that in my wallet all year. It definitely got me through some pretty hard times during the year. Now, once I find that card again, it will stay in my wallet for a very long time. As we leave GMAP, it is now that card becomes of even more importance to me, and I hope to you. It is in the moving forward that our leadership is of more importance, and we cannot falter, not in today's demanding, complex, and insecure world. I look at my 32-person strong team in front of me, and I see how you all contribute and will continue to contribute. You protect countries and their families, ensuring our security. You make businesses and economies stronger. You represent the governments of the world, and you strive for peaceful discourse. You protest. You give voice to the voiceless, and you save lives. The next time you make a decision that will affect lives, which I know will be often with this group, whether it is in the cockpit or in the conference room, whether in the fields of Vietnam or the election booths of Côte d'Ivoire, remember that we are all members of a global community with a responsibility to serve it. On Monday, Dean Nutter discussed this global community of which we are a part. This experience, more than any other I have had in my recent years, represents this global community. We are part of a human family, and by whatever choices and paths we have taken to get here, we are leaders. We are leaders who listen and act. We are leaders who have victories and who have defeats. Leaders who, because of this GMAP experience, are more refined and more effective. So it is now that we take this card, more than in the past year, and we put it into our hearts and into action as we move forward. Never, never, never give up. We learned a lot this year. We balanced work, families, and travels with our GMAP course load. But none of that could have been done without our professors. And so for that, we are so thankful. This past year with you, we have learned, we've discussed, we argued a lot, and some of the world's foremost leaders were facilitating these conversations for us. They are the leaders of their fields. We should be proud and lucky to have had that experience. To our professors, please accept our deepest thanks for your guidance, your understanding, and most of all, your belief in us that we could actually do this. Thank you. We also learned a lot about teamwork this year. In our classes, Professor Simonen's class, to be specific, we learned about teamwork. There's one team, though, in here that stands out above the rest, that provided a living, breathing example for us to study. The team I'm speaking of is the GMAP team. Emma, Nikki, Marnie, Endry, Nicole, and Cam, you are an amazing team. You went to such amazing lengths to make a group that is flung out across the globe to feel a part of the Fletcher family. And for that, I am thankful. You did it, you facilitated, you adapted, you managed crises, you dealt with our crankiness, and you did it all with such grace and composure. Emma Belcher could not be here today. She guided all of the GMAP students through all of their initial phases of their thesis, and for that, she deserves a medal. So in absentia, Emma, thank you so much. Dean Nutter, this is your vision. Look at it. This is it. You have had a vision of emerging leaders graduating from this historical and important school with a better chance of being agents of change. And for that, we are thankful. This is a vision come to life for a decade now. Thank you for your commitment to Fletcher, to GMAP, and to your team, and to us. I hope we make you proud. We learned a lot about friendship this year. We learned a lot about how much our families love us. We missed weekends, birthdays, anniversaries, and countless other occasions to spend time with our loved ones. To our partners, our friends, our children, and our parents, thank you so much for your support and patience with us. You have bared with us, and for that we are so appreciative and so apologetic, but we love you even more for it. Thank you because we could not have done it without you. This year we also had a lot of fun, sometimes a little bit more fun than I want to recount. The second residency in Brussels was exactly what we needed, which was to see each other again and take our relationships as commiserating classmates into long-lasting friendships. We had so much fun. I was thinking about this last night, trying to decide what to mention, and I found myself just laughing myself silly. There's a couple things I'm particularly glad happened. First of all, I'm very glad that we managed to get Corey off the bus near Waterloo, despite the fact that David Baird left him there in the first place. I'm glad that Fleming was able to tell stories about stags in our security class. I'm glad that Marie Anne was able to bring wonderful cigars for us, that we never ran out of Chimay Blue, that Reese and Paul got their underwear back, that Tyler tried snails, and that Ross made his supersonic size in class at always the perfect moment. It was amazing to meet our fellow Fletcher alumnus, the Chinese ambassador, as his residence, and it was equally amazing that Ambassador Noura took us to the Indonesian embassy. Brussels was fantastic. Memories for a lifetime. I could not talk without being excited for Lucine and Alexander and their impending joy. Congratulations from the bottom of our hearts. We are all so excited. Maybe not as excited as you, Paul, but we're all pretty excited.